following closed circuit is for NBC affiliate chief engineers. The subject, K Band, NBC's final countdown.
On this K Band closed circuit, I'm going to show you around the NBC Satellite Network Management System, SNMS for short, NBC's SkyPath Control Facility, the Harris Maintenance Center in Florida, and one of our out front affiliates in Orlando, WESH-TV. We're going to start 600 feet up on the roof across the street from the RCA building. Here, NBC's master satellite antennas were put on the air on March 14th. Here's the pictures leave us and go to you. Hi, I'm Don Cavell, operations on the K Band satellite system. These antennas sit on steel 5 feet thick. And here's an area on the roof reserved for a third antenna in the future. This rope and wheel are some of the rigging we use to pull the cables up from the ground to the roof. Now I want to show you around because this is the focal point of our satellite system. The ladder on this elevated frame. Here is the UPS shelter with 140 batteries inside. They cover us while these two generators come up to speed at 500 kilovolt amps. Around here, 825 gallons of diesel fuel in this tank here and 2 more tanks on floors below will run the generator for 4 days. Now, let's see some more. One of the 2 transmit shelters up here. Inside are 4 pairs of high-power amplifiers, 2 kilowatt klystrons. Here's the first pair, another protected uplink here, the 2 SNMS command transmitters, a third protected uplink here, and a 4th uplink right here. We're on our way now to the receiving shelter for both antennas. This elevated frame I'm walking on is 162 tons of steel. That's some kind of sidewalk, isn't it? Inside the receiving shelter, we have 4 Intel computers, 2 controlling your equipment, 2 controlling ours, 6 pairs of receivers, 4 more computers for the second antenna, another 6 pair of receivers for the second antenna, and 2 spectrum analyzers here for SkyPath to check what carriers are up on the satellite. Outside, we're going to look underneath one of the 8-meter antennas. Here are the 2 3-horsepower tracking motors that keep this antenna pointed to within 0.04 of a degree of the satellite's position. And that's full de-icing on the back of that dish, very important up here at 600 feet. This antenna is aimed at the satellite, 200 degrees local azimuth and just over that very straight. Now, oh, here we are in New York's SkyPath.
SkyPath, Dave Garcia.
Dave Garcia is answering a trouble call from an affiliate.
Yeah. How you doing, John? What do you got?
Dave will use this equipment to look inside the affiliate's ground station equipment remotely.
Yeah. Let's see, 1 second now. Okay, yeah, I see that too, the power supply. That's a hardware fault. We're going to have to get Harris to come out there. Hopefully I can get him there tomorrow. How's your 1E doing? You on that? Okay, good. Just stick with that. Okay, and you should see the cavalry there tomorrow. Bye, John.
SkyPath will now report the trouble to the Harris Maintenance Control Center in Florida. This now takes a phone call, but in the future, the return status from every affiliate will automatically alert SkyPath and Maintenance Control to the problem. Here's Greg Palm at Harris Maintenance. He also calls up the affiliate's equipment status to analyze the problem on his terminal. He uses another terminal to locate the nearest Harris field engineer and send them over to the affiliate. Meanwhile, the Harris K Band antennas in Florida are also being used by engineers inside the test and control area of the Harris plant to test affiliates that are now being installed and to develop and load new software into affiliate ground stations already online. This operation runs around the clock. Here's Mike Shelton, who is now working with the installation engineers at WBZ Boston, a transmit-receive ground station. Our other Harris engineer is John Myers, who is working with KXXV, Waco, Texas. All of the checking is done over the satellite. And here's equipment proving in the software for the new Fluke terminal display. That will allow affiliates to switch from 1R to 1E and to move the frame sync. And here's an operating Fluke at WESH in Orlando, Florida. Notice the cursor in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. The Fluke is mounted in master control, connected to the Harris racks by Richard Mon, who is the manager of technical facilities here at WESH. The K Band ground station has been on the air since January, retrofitted with the latest receivers and recently with the latest software load. How's the performance been, Richard?
Don, we've been seeing pictures off of our satellite system since last summer, and ever since then we've determined that the pictures are as good as or better than what we've had off the telco lines. And so as far as quality, we're quite impressed. Since the software download and the new receivers that we've received, we haven't really had any problems. We've been on the air since January with our satellite downlink and are very happy and pleased.
Great. Also at WESH Master Control are the two SID units. Notice the top one is off. And follow me to see the ComSat racks at WESH. And back here are the K-Band ground station racks. Notice the patch bay free from patch cords, which means the ground station is fully.
It's important that we don't have switching errors, and so far I'm pleased to announce we haven't had a one.
That's great. Well, that was a short tour of NBC New York, the Harris Center in Florida, and WESH TV in Orlando. Besides WESH, we have 150 affiliates now online with fully commissioned K-Band ground stations. Our calendar is getting shorter and shorter. This Friday morning, we will begin pre-switching your weekday morning and afternoon programs to 1R. I'm sending those of you affected a wire today. It is going to Eastern, Central, and Mountain affiliates who now have to switch to 2R to get the red early sunrise and today schedule, or to 2R to get the green afternoon schedule. This Friday morning, you will be able to sit on 1R all day long, Monday through Friday. Look for my wire today for all the details. Nothing will change for the affiliates who now take 1R all the time. Our next K-Band closed circuit will come to you before the end of next week, when we have our sectional commercials under SNMS supervision. That will be our subject next week. And the first week in April, the new AT&T landline tariff goes into effect. Cost of local loops, for example, may be increased by many local phone companies on an individual basis, some pretty drastically, when approved by the FCC. What this means to you is that when we cut the lines during the first 2 weeks in April, you may wish to retain your local loop. Well, you'd better call your local carrier person now to find out what that loop is going to cost. Anywhere from $870 to $1,700 a month for a short loop to as much as $6,400 a month for a long loop, like in Washington, North Carolina. Boy, are we getting out in the nick of time. The Chief Engineers Breakfast is on April 16th in Las Vegas. You know all about that. And I told you that the meetings for the Chief Engineers would be held the week of June 17th. Well, we've had to move that meeting a week later to the week of June 24th, tentatively Chicago. We'll have the same program on each of 2 days during that week. Come to either day. Art Wardenberg will wire you all the details and the exact dates. He tells only the truth. Any questions? Call your SkyPath. Remember, SID number 1 off, patch cords out, station in remote, and use it on the air. The first 2 weeks in April are almost here. Be back next week, and we'll see you then.